Peace and Black Power family. It's your Harlem educator, author, and activist, the Black Liberation Coach, Brother I.J. Taimba. You know, I'm filming live on location in that wonderful historical and political village of Harlem, New York. Family, we are really, I have a real treat for you. I like to think every one of our broadcasts is a treat. They're just treats in different ways for different reasons. This treat is so important because, and matter of fact, let me make sure I record this, family. All right. This is important because, anytime that you get that the Creator blesses you to have a platform where people respect you or follow your word or whatever, that's a kind of an ego thing. But the real blessing is that you're able to take people whose message and ideas and lives you care about and kind of export them to the world so other people can know about them, support their movements, support their products, their businesses, whatever. Today I have my blood here, family, on the platform. My cousin, who's more like the sister I never had. You know, I'm an only child, so this was like the sister I never had growing up. Sister Lona Love. If she wants to tell you her actual government name, that's on her. But for now, we're just gonna use her business entity.
Peace, everybody. Peace
What's
and
up,
love.
Sister Lona?
What's going on? How are you doing today?
Everything is peace.
Good, good,
I
good.
want to be able to introduce you properly. So give me one secundo. We're going to bring that up. In the meantime, those of you who are watching on Facebook, I want to also acknowledge Brother Mark McPhee. We got the Queen is going to be coming in soon. Those of you watching on the Zoom studio and on Facebook Live, please don't be stingy, family. Share it with other people. Let them in on this conversation. Because if it's one thing that we desperately need besides freedom, justice, equality, love, peace, happiness, and all that good stuff, it's knowing how to deal with our inner turmoil, our stress, our anxiety, our negative energy, and all these things. And that's some of what we're going to be getting today. Hold on one second, family. And I want to bring this stuff up. All right. So, family, you should all be sharing as we're doing this. I want to introduce my cousin, Alona, better known as Lona Love, is a certified and clinical aromatherapist and owner of Okima Natural and Holistic Self-Care Company. She is mostly self-taught in her craft, learning from her grandmother at a young age how to use ancient traditions that benefit a healthy soul, mind, and body. Her focus is to guide and educate others on the benefits of these traditions and tools, encouraging a balance and respect between the earth and the individual. Lona Love, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I am abundant. I'm always going to resonate on the frequency and vibration of abundancy. So that's how I'm always doing, abundant and full of love.
That's what's up. So
Yeah,
already the sister starting us out with a lesson.
absolutely.
Affirmations, affirming that which we want in our lives. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First, I have to form it in my life and then I can affirm it. Because
Come
if
on now.
something and you make something firm without first forming it, it's going to fall apart. So my foundation is forming what I need for myself in words or whatever that is for me, and then I affirm it after I've already formed it. So yeah.
All right. I don't know everything, but I know to go to the experts, to the sources when there's something I do want to know. Um, let's start out this way, Lona Love. We in this day and time when there's so many things just popping up out the blue. We hear the terms spirituality, we hear the terms wellness all the time, and I think that the meanings of these terms get confused, right?
Mhm,
What
mhm.
do these terms mean to you, and why should we care about spirituality and wellness?
Okay, you are so correct. Spirituality and wellness right now is so commercialized for products and things of that nature that it's really not. In my From my point of view, I'm just going to say from my perspective and my point of view, just because of how I use it, it's not in the form that it should be, so that it can be enjoyed equally, as you, the user. So for me speaking from my perspective and how I term the word spirituality. It is a personal relationship with you and your source, creator, God, whatever name that you use to call that um, being. It's a personal relationship between yourself and entity and or thing, right? It is not a product or a stone or any of these things. It is a personal relationship that starts between yourself and your creator. And wellness is also the same. Wellness is a personal relationship between your physical self, your soulful self, your emotional self, and your mental self to get you into a state of um, oneness with the vibration and resonance of the things that are around you, which is, the world, your community, and things of that nature. It's really not separate of yourself. People like to state that spirituality and wellness is separate from what you are, but it is not. It is just you in another form that you have to tap into that you haven't tapped into since being brought here into this spiritual body or this physical body as a spiritual being.
It sounds like you touching on a little bit of that African cosmology right there. Um,
Just a little, just a
and that's a
little.
perfect. That's actually a perfect segue to our next question. I do want to remind everyone, as you come into the chat, please be mindful to mute yourself, as we'll be able to hear all your background noises and conversations and stuff. All right, family. So just try to make sure you're muting yourself as you come in. That's a perfect segue to our next question, cuz the next question is, there's a lot of people who identify with a religion. They subscribe to a particular religious denomination or faith. And I was wondering, can people explore, develop their spirituality without being religious? Or if they're religious, can they explore their spirituality without, I guess, going against somehow their religious beliefs?
Absolutely. Religion is a structure uh, created by, man for various things. um, Spirituality, as I stated, is a personal relationship between you and what you deem your source, entity, God, deity, whatever you deem that is. It's a personal relationship. Religion, I feel like for me, just again speaking from my perspective and point of view, it's about community, right? Whereas spirituality is personal. And then you can impart yourself personally, spiritually into your community. And if people want to follow what it is that you do spiritually or how you got to your spiritual self, then they can absolutely do that.
Thank you for that, cuz. Now, those you watching and listening, first of all, I want to thank you, Mark McPhee. Sister Sheila's in the building. Peace to Sister
Yes.
Sheila. Sister Arlena is in the building. Peace to Sister
Yes, my
Arlena.
sister.
I think my Queen Bee is in the building. I think she may have left, but she's coming back. All of you watching here in the live Zoom studio and live on Facebook, peace, Black Power. Of course, that's where I'm coming from, and blessings to you all. Let me admit the Queen again. The reason we're doing this, for those of you watching and listening, is because I am a black nationalist and Pan Africanist. I'm about revolution. I'm about changing the things about this society that are absolutely killing us, family, on
And he's
every
always
level.
been like this since a little boy.
You better let them know, cuz. You better let them know.
He didn't
This
just
ain't
start
new.
being like this. He has always been revolutionary.
I'm
Okay.
going to drink to that. That's coffee, by
Always.
the way. Thanks, cuz. Now, listen, family. Some of us that are real political, we tend to think that everything is of the natural world, terrestrial. Everything is material, what we can touch and see and taste and hear. And I want to remind us that the revolution is also internal. The revolution is also being able to deal with those inner demons that make you want to punch somebody in their face, or slap
Absolutely.
somebody at the Oscars, or curse somebody out, or kick somebody out of. We got to deal with that. So,
Absolutely.
Asada Shakur said it's not just about the system. We got to change ourselves, family. We got to
Absolutely.
change ourselves. Even if there was no white man here,
That's right.
we still
That's
have
why I
people
said
that's
it's
jealous
personal.
and
It's
competitive, right?
personal. It's
So,
personal.
this is why I got my cousin on, family. I'm hoping that she's going to shed some light, impart some wisdom to help us deal with those battles. I see the Queen Bee. Peace. Peace, Sister Brenda. How you doing?
Peace
Thank you
and
for
love,
joining.
my love.
Okay. All right. Now let's go to our next question, and family, we're gonna have time for a Q&A a little later. Um, Now, in order to help people with their spiritual wellness, Lona Love, I'm assuming you had to begin with self. You had to do some work on yourself. You had to go through your own journey. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Could you
Absolutely.
describe for people the components, your own kind of spiritual journey, what got you on this path, and and share that
Sure.
with the public? Thank you.
Sure. So, as most of us, when we were born, we started out on our journey and or spiritual path through our parents and whatever their belief was, whatever their religion was, way of life, or whatever it was. So, of course, initially I started out as in the Baptist church with my mom and stuff. And then in the summers, I would go down to my grandparents' house, and it was a different type of vibe. There was no going to church and things like that. Out nature was church. The birds were our choir. It was just a totally different thing that I was used to. So I kind of picked up on that, and that resonated with me more than the things that I was hearing, because I had questions that I would ask and they weren't being answered. um, I was being like shushed. And I'm like, well, I can't get with this system if you're not going to answer these questions so that I could feel comfortable with what it is that you are, and telling me I'm supposed to believe in, right? So it started there, and then as you grow into yourself, I went through different systems. I went through the system of Yoruba, almost to the point where I was getting ready to be initiated as a priestess, and then something resonated with me that wasn't where I wanted. That's not the route that I wanted to take. I've gone through Santeria, Muslim, some Hebrew. I've gone through the Kabbalah, a couple of things that I've studied, Scientology. A lot of these things I've studied before I found out that all of these things promote, like I said, a personal relationship with you and your deity, your God, your source, yourself, to find yourself. So if you sit with yourself and do the work, the inner child healing, the shadow work, all of these things that are now coming into play that I've been doing since, um, since I was 7, 8 years old and didn't know that I was doing those things.
Mm.
That is how I navigated into this world of spirituality, by testing all of those things, all of those systems, and them pointing me to right where I am right now, which is a relationship with myself. Because if God's spirit and spark is inside of you, why would you be going outside of that other than to learn how to get to that spirit and spark inside of you? Why would you go outside of that to find out what that is? Everything that you need is within you, according to history books or modalities of study, right? So it started with me. I had to actually be like, well, I'm the one. Let me sit with me. Let me sit with my God voice, because your intuition is your God voice, and you'll be quick to listen to that voice because God speaking to you. But there are your other voices that speak to you as well, because we're not one-dimensional beings, so we can't be one-dimensional emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those things are also God's voice, because why would they not be? Or
Now,
his
now,
voice,
because I
anything
got to
like
interrupt you, I'm sorry,
that. You're
respectfully,
fine.
because I want to highlight a key point here. A lot of people who become quote unquote thought leaders, experts, whatever you want to call it, in a particular thing, some of them have done it strictly through books. So they have a
Yeah,
book knowledge of it. They're experts as scholars. What I want to emphasize to those watching, and hopefully Lona Love will get into it, at least the parts of it she feels are appropriate for you to know, that this is not just, she's just read a lot of books and has
mm-mm.
knowledge of this. I bear witness that I've seen so much growth in my cousin. From when we was like high school era to now, so much growth. And I think that's a result of some hard work, hard questions, uncomfortable questions you got to raise with yourself
Absolutely.
and answer them and admit things about yourself you don't like and you
Absolutely.
want to be better. Can you
Absolutely.
speak to that? How you were able to grow in that way?
Absolutely. So, a lot of people grow up and things happen to us, right? And we bury them kind of in our subconscious because we don't know or haven't been taught how to deal with emotions, right? So we just kind of want to like push the emotion away. And even right now, with the way spirituality is, it's like that's a reflection of something else. Don't, deep delve into that emotion. That's not real. Just let it go. And yes, a feeling enters your body and it stays in your body for 90 seconds and then it releases itself. It's your brain that holds on to the emotion resonated with that feeling. So, our emotions are stored in our subconscious. They cause traumatic experiences and we never tap into our conscious mind. We're always tapped into that subconscious mind. And it took for me to have to sit with my traumas that I thought were inflicted by other people that I actually inflicted on myself. And what happened was that was just the reaction to the shit that I allowed to happen. And I was mad at the reaction and not sitting with what the actual physical thing was. That's the hard part right there. Admitting that you did something wrong, that you were the reason, for whatever. Not, and I'm not saying in senses or in ways of like sexual trauma or abuse or anything of that nature or any kind of physical abuse that you endured. I'm
Right.
just about things that, you go through life and you're like, man, why did this happen to me? Or why, it's because of things that you did that you contributed to. And then there was a reaction to that because, for every action, there's a reaction. It was the reaction and you weren't prepared to deal with the reaction. So of course, blame that and not yourself. So the tools that I had to use to sit with myself initially were meditation. And I didn't like meditation, right? Guided meditation, silent meditation, because again, these voices are coming up in my head and they're like, oh, you have, it's this, it's that. And they're not necessarily voices like, oh, you're so ugly, or it's like, you're not worthy.
Mm.
Okay, well, why am I not worthy? Is this something that I heard before? Is this something that I feel? Let's get to the root of why I'm hearing that I am. So when I started to navigate through the root of my emotions so that I can handle the feeling of the emotion, because they're two separate things. There's the emotion and then the feeling of the emotion. When I was able to navigate through the emotion to get to the feeling, um, then I was able to start to do some more work spiritually to evolve. But a tool to get there is to absolutely sit with yourself. It's called shadow work, because it's deep diving into the side of you, which is considered the dark side,
Mm.
that people don't like to go into. And the shadow only appears when the light shines upon it. And you can't always be light and fluff all the time. Sometimes you really do have to get down into the dark and do that work. And meditation is darkness because you have to close yourself off, your eyes, your mind, you have to close all of that off and become dark and sit there and with your darkest self. And so that was one of the tools that I used to navigate to where I am now, because I'm going to tell you, I was destructive um, to myself, to almost to where it was a detriment, where I was like, wow, even now, I'm surprised. Next Saturday, I'm going to be 52. So I'm like, I'm so surprised. I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I'm so surprised I'm here, because I really, if I look back on my life, like my cousin was saying, whew, I was like the Tasmanian devil. I'm either supposed to be, in the ground or in somebody's jail cell. It's based on the life that I lived, and flipping that around for me was, um, uh, it was like for my life. I had to save my life, and that's how I had to. Also, I use like sound healing. These are tools that I use. I chant, sound bowls, tuning forks, shakerays, music. Um, I don't write. We were discussing that today. It's just something about writing. I exercise, yoga, physical exercise as well, because yoga is more for strength, toning, and alignment. And then I do, of course, move around because we need to do that. Um, I do some crystal healing or stone healing, a little bit of chakra work and things of that nature. So a lot of tools, sit down in nature, grounding and things like that. Those, if that answers the question, if that, you know.
Absolutely, it does. Now, the next question is: you are the founder. please make sure when you enter that you mute your microphones, family, please, okay? Thank you. You're the founder and the proprietor of Okima Natural. What goods and services do you provide? What inspired you to do this? And then hopefully maybe you can show us some examples of your products, some samples of them.
Sure. So Okima Natural was started in 2008 or 9. I was going through therapy, and it was a form of therapy. My therapist was trying to find different ways to assist me with, like I said, navigating the emotions and the feelings. And he was like, uh, he made soap and things of this nature. So he was like, I couldn't do the soap thing. Soap is a beast that I don't even want to get into, right? So, but it also, because of the way he was using it as a form of therapy, it was showing me how things need to be put in at a certain time and space. It was a relationship you're forming, because you can't just put the lye in the water, and because it could be very caustic. And it was just a way of therapy as a relationship, or forming, or how to create a relationship with yourself through these things. So he was like, make an accompaniment for me, and something to assist with your daughter's eczema. So I did. I, went to YouTube University, got some shea butter ordered, and all the other things to make that. And I started to make the product. My friends and family were like, hey, you need to go to farmers markets and stuff like that. So I did. Started going to farmers markets. People were asking me, what the properties of the essential oils and the product is. And I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't know. I was just selling it because people said I needed to, and it was a good product or whatever. And I felt that I was doing myself and the people who were coming up to my table a disservice by not having the proper knowledge of what it was that I was doing. I went to school. I got my license, my certification in aromatherapy, and was so intrigued by what aromatherapy was that I said I need to further that. And I became a clinical aromatherapist. So a clinical aromatherapist is an aromatherapist who uses essential oils scientifically. I also think or consider myself a spiritual aromatherapist, where I use the essential oils in a way to assist you with tapping into your mind, body, soul, and emotional healing, right? Two different things. The clinical, scientifically, I'm using essential oils to for a specific issue or condition that you have. And spiritually, I'm using the oils to assist you through an intention that you personally want to, assist with, right? Again, I was so intrigued with aromatherapy on the level that I was learning it on versus what my grandmother taught me, because she would just go out in the garden, grab some stuff, put it in. We have soap, tincture, all kind of healing herbs, teas, whatever. She would just really go out into the garden. So it was really different than what I learned when I was learning with my grandmother how to take care of myself from a holistic and natural way, as she was showing me. Once I got into it in that manner, my whole entire view changed about how I wanted to present and showcase Okima Natural. And Okima is my middle name, and it actually means wisdom, which I didn't know until someone from Nigeria told me that's what it means, in Nigeria. So after that, I was like, oh, this is destined. I'm supposed to, through what I know, which is wisdom, educate our people on products, why you should use them in your skin and things like that. And why I love aromatherapy so much is because aromatherapy is the use of plants and herbs to assist you with your healing on a cellular level, on a physically, and on a spiritual level, right? Aromatherapy, inhalation of anything aromatic, gets to your brain faster than applying it to your body, because it has to go through a nervous system when you apply it in your body. So it takes up to 20 minutes. You smell something, it immediately goes to the brain, and then the brain sends out signals to where that scent and aroma, depending on the synergy or blend that you have me create or that you ordered, starts to work and heal there. So you don't, as you use it properly, excuse me, you will start to see a difference in your mood and or feeling depending on how you're using the essential oil in itself. So that's how I started. I really started, like I said, just because it was a form of therapy, and then I was trying to figure out how to assist with my daughter's eczema, which wasn't even a product issue. It was her diet and and her thought process and things of that nature. So once we figured that out, the product just assisted with keeping her skin moisturized and things of that nature. So
You know, I'm listening to you, cause and I'm amazed because I know that in my little bit of study of spirituality, trying to get deeper with my own self, you know, you can share it with people and they're kind of like, sickness don't come from how you think.
the lies.
Bad fortune don't come from the language you use.
The lies.
And so I think it's important that we emphasize that this is not mumbo jumbo that we've heard. You know, sometimes people read a little bit of something and they try to explain it, and maybe they don't fully understand it, so it comes off like that's not right. But there is a correlation between our thoughts, our language, is that correct? And
Absolutely.
our experience.
And your experience, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. You shape your experience, right? I mean, if you're a believer of what you think, what a man thinks is what a man becomes, then your experiences are what you thought into becoming.
Got you. Now,
Yes.
is it possible? I know you got some products. You go around.
Yes,
You do actual like I don't know if we call them seminars, but you do classes with
I
people.
do. I
Could
do
you share some of what you
classes.
got?
I do classes. I do group classes, one-on-one classes. I teach classes at the Spice and Tea Exchange here in Spartanburg. And it was interesting because I was just going into the store to get like spices, herbs, and teas, loose leaf teas, and things that they offer. And then myself and one of the managers started talking. She's from Appalachia, so she's very into foraging and things. So we kind of clicked on that level as to how we use these herbs and what we use them for. And she was like, well, you need to come in and start and, teaching how you can use teas outside of drinking them and their properties and all of the herbs and things in the store. So I love herbs to that was a new experience for me because I really had a phobia about speaking in front of people because in my mind, I was like, what I have to say does not matter. So once I got
Mm.
over with myself, like, why was I feeling like what I had to say didn't matter? Because I didn't like to hear my voice, and that's why. So when I started to love what I was sounding like, then I was like, well, everybody else should hear what I sound like too and what I have to say because it's beneficial for me, it's working for me. I can see it working for me. Other people have said that they see the difference in me. So let me go ahead and share this with the world because I'm not supposed to hold all of this in. I am supposed to share it with my
That's
community.
right.
Um, so I make bath salts. This is a peppermint and rose bath salt that I made for a young lady. Now, all products can be custom and personalized to your personal intention,
Now,
right?
real quick, cause I want to make sure we don't forget
Okay.
the name of your business is Okema Natural. O K
Okay, my
E M
natural.
A
Yes.
Natural. How can people find the business? On
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I'm currently updating my website right now as we speak, and it'll be launching next Saturday on April 9th. So you can go to my website as well. And you can hit me on any of those, like I said, Instagram, Facebook, and if you have a message, you can message me there, or you can inbox me or email me at okimanatural@gmail.com.
Okay. Now let's get right back to what you were saying. You were talking about the products that you had. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I just wanted to.
So the bath salts now, whenever you order a product from me, even if I'm making it for more than one person, just to have it on the website, all of my products, herbs, salts, anything of that nature, they're going to get hit with the sound bowl, some kind of healing vibration and or frequency. And you are going to feel that in the product. So I don't just make the product and you don't feel what the intention of the product is. I infuse the intention of what I say that the product is going to do into the product. And I have a few people, Arlena, Tamara, they have all tried my products and they will tell you that when it's applied, you feel what it's applied for. Thank you so much, Kenosha, for putting my information. I appreciate you. Um,
Yes, and we're gonna put
Sage
on Facebook
sprays.
too, cuz.
Okay. Sage and other synergy sprays, because what if you're in a situation and or setting where you cannot burn sage, and you need to apply it. So I do make sage and other synergy sprays. I also sell sage. I sell white sage, meditation sage, um, black sage, and other different types of sages, because white sage is not the only sage out here. White sage is a clearing sage. It clears everything, but then you need other things to bring that energy and stuff back. I sell loose resin, so I have frankincense, sandalwood, and things of that nature. Loose resin is another form of sage. I also sell stones. People call them crystals. The correct way to refer to them are stones. They're stones.
Now,
I,
now, cuz I'm gonna stop you again. Pardon me, because I know how our community thinks. They get the
mm.
information, and then they leave, and then once the show is over, they like, I got all the stones, I got the oils. Now what do I do with them? Right?
So when I send you whatever it is that you order, you get a very detailed um, information packet. And when I say very detailed, I'm talking about very detailed: how to activate your stone, how to infuse intention, because activating and intending are two different things. Like, people put their stones out in the sun and the moon, and they think that's all they're supposed to do. And then they're wondering why, if they're using the stone as a tool to assist them, because it is just a tool to assist you into whatever intention you set. After the stone is done with you, because of the type of vibration the stone is, or the type of object and or tool it is, it will leave you.
Hmm.
Because it's already giving you its energy and power, frequency, and vibration to assist you. Notice I keep saying assist, because people think that these things actually are some kind of it is a tool to assist you to your next level, where you don't need it anymore, right?
Hmm.
Because the object of a tool is for you to use it, learn it, and then not need it, so that you could go into your next level and your next level and your next level. Um, so again, you activate the stone. There's a thing that you do for that, and then you infuse it with sunlight, salt, moonlight, and things of that nature. I prefer stones in the raw frequency, because they hold a higher vibration and or power. Some people can't deal with that, so then I would suggest like a tumble stone, which has a little less frequency and vibration. Um, I sell singing bowls, which I absolutely love. Um, it's a part of sound therapy. They come in different colors. I prefer brass and or copper, only because of the tonality and the vibration that I resonate with them with that. They are more healing to me than glass. Um, so do your research on that if that's something that you're interested in and or looking to. I like to refer to myself as a healing guide. I will give you information and then guide you to that thing, and wherever your eyes look at, or whatever resonates with you, then you pick that up. I don't expect you to do what I do just because I do it, but I do like to guide you to that, what it is that you said that you want to do and or learn and intend for yourself, and at least help you, get there, if that's something you want to do. So I do body oils, and sometimes they're infused with herbs. Like, I have jasmine and rose in this. This is a turmeric body oil, and it's specific for a person who wanted some turmeric, but she wanted it to smell good as well. So I put some rose essential oil in there and some jasmine essential oil in there, and then I included the rose and jasmine herbs.
I see that you have a
Rose herb.
bracelet on.
Oh, okay. So my
What's that about?
bracelets, I do make bracelets. These were very integral for me when my husband passed away in 2020. So he passed away 2 days after my birthday.
Hmm.
I kind of like stopped my business but I did need to do something to allow me to help move through grief. So I made bracelets, and the bracelets assist. They're normally lava bracelets with a kind of crystal and or stone according to what it is that you want to help move yourself through or understand yourself through. Um, and I make these, like, I'll meditate on you on the intention, and then I'll go ahead and make a bracelet intuitively. I'm going to say I'm a 99.3%, 100, or not 100, 99.3% right on every time I've made a bracelet and sent it out. This the same, it's what the person needed, just based on the conversation we had and our meditation I've gotten. And what the bracelets do is you can scent them with essential oils. When your body and or pH balance changes, the bracelet will activate. You'll smell the oil, and the aromatherapy part of spirituality and or healing will activate. Sometimes the bracelet gets tight on your arm. I don't know who has Kenosha. Do you have a bracelet? Or Tamara, have you experienced when you go through something, the bracelet gets tight? It's trying to readjust your vibration and frequency to its natural state. So whenever you're in a state of anxiety, fear, when you're not illness or anything like that, since that is considered to not be natural, it'll kind of resonate or push you along back into a state of peace, love, and understanding. Since according to historians, the world was created in, love, peace, and that vibration. And so that's the meaning and our purpose of the bracelets for me. They assisted me, and they're kind of almost like a mala. So if you chant and you want to, rub on your bracelets and hold your bracelets and do your chanting for 108 times, you can take the bracelets and use it as a mala as well. And yes, Kenosha, when it is done, it will leave you. It will break, it will pop. So don't be like, oh my God, my bracelet. Look, just like with any organic and or natural thing, when it is done with you, even a herb, if you're taking herbal supplements, tinctures, and things like that, when it is done with you, it will stop working for you.
Hmm.
Means that you
You
now are on to the next level of
now,
whatever it is that you
cuz I'm going to interrupt you again.
go
These are all
ahead.
strategic and respectful interruptions. As we got all these beautiful Africans and new Africans and black folk and whatever we call ourselves here, I would like to ask if we could kind of go through some of the essential oils, and if you
Yeah,
could
I was just
explain
going
to
to talk
people
about that.
what they do for you.
Absolutely. I was just going to speak of that next. So I do sell essential oils individually if that is something that you prefer. I like to sell oils in synergy because there's usually a specific thing that you want to address with the essential oils. Right. So a lot of people come to me, they have anxiety, they're stressed out, they want an essential oil or an essential oil blend to assist with that. Um, Again, smelling the essential oil helps it get into your system faster, helps your brain to regulate those issues and, kind of push you into a balance of the intention and our frequency that you want to be in, because anxiety makes you kind of shaky, right? So you want an essential oil that's uplifting and cool, because when you are anxious, your body heats up, you get hot. So you don't want an oil that's also hot and it's going to, overheat. It's going to defeat the purpose. So you want like frankincense, which is a grounding oil. It kind of brings you back to your space of center. Lavender, any kind of citrus oils and things of that nature. And you want to apply them. Normally people are like, and even myself, when I first started using essential oils before I went to school, I was like, oh, you just put them on your temples, rub them on your wrist, the back of your neck, and on your feet, and then you're done. No, there's not all that or how you're the only way you're supposed to apply them. There are acupuncture points on your body that when you apply these oils to, they work amazingly, right? So you have anxiety. Anxiety stems from issues of the heart. So we have the heart acupuncture, which is right here, right under your pinky, or is it your thumb? Sorry, it's actually your thumb. Point number 6.
So it's like under the wrist, aligned with
Right,
the thumb.
right, exactly. And you want
Okay.
to apply your essential oils there 2 to 4 times a day for at least 7 days. And you will see and feel a difference in how you react when you're anxious. Um, some people come to me and they have headaches. So I have a combination of copaiba, um, peppermint, and spearmint oils because these help with inflammation. Ginger as well, but ginger is more for like your stomach area when you're going through the, menopause, perimenopause, and or um, when you're about to get on your cycle, if you're still, at that time. So in that point, you would apply to the back under the thumb, and you would apply there for your headaches. You would also apply in between your thumb and your forefinger in that fleshy part right there. You would apply the essential oils there as well as along with the temples and the back of your neck. But you want to apply into the fleshy point and then press that down for like 3 minutes, and it relieves pressure uh, for your headache.
Wow. Okay. Because I'm impressed. You know, I read something about if you had a headache, uh, get a bowl of ice water
And put
and
your
put
hand in
your,
it.
yeah. That
That
sounds
works.
sounds similar, but they
You
said to
can
press
hold
in
you can
here,
hold ice
right
and
in here, like
it'll
you had said.
right
Yeah.
press it into that acupuncture point right there, yeah, as well. And then tapping is another form or another tool to assist you. You just want to tap into and tap on the.
I'm glad you said it because I thought those people were out of their mind. I thought they were crazy.
No, these things
They
actually work.
tapping.
When you tap, they actually do work. It's just it stimulates nerves to move your blood flow. Um, and even when you have anxiety, you may want to tap on, your collarbone and chest plate here. When you have anxiety, it'll help move the energy that's stagnant. Because energy will be stagnant and it does become stagnant within us because we don't use it and we don't move around and we don't open it up and things like that. So yeah, you want to use those things, but um, essential oils will assist you with whether they be blends and or the oils individually. Now, this is Young Living. I do use Young Living. I'm not a distributor anymore for Young Living, but for me, they have the highest medicinal.
That's a
Um,
brand, right? That's a brand name.
yes, it's a brand.
Young Living.
I
Okay.
like their oils are very therapeutic. They get to the issue of what you need. So I use these when I'm using scientific, when I'm being my clinical aromatherapist, when people have issues with pain, inflammation, and things like that. Just also a caveat there. When I do the essential oil therapy, I'm also interested in your diet, your mental well-being, your physical well-being, and because I can prescribe essential oils all day as a buffer, but if you're not willing to do the work internally so that the essential oils will assist you with what it is that you're wanting to ail you, it's it's just going to be a coping mechanism, like taking medication. So it's not really going to work for you. If you really want to do the work, then you have to let me know, mentally, physically, how you take care of yourself. And you have to be truthful with yourself in that answer so that I can assist you and or guide you to use the tools that I have used that have helped me. When I was grieving, a lot of people told me that I had a lot of strength because of how I handled my husband's death. Like my singing bowls and my chanting, those are my saving graces. It happened right during the pandemic, so I was in here by myself. A person could go absolutely crazy after someone they've been with for so long and love passes away, and then you have to be in a pandemic by yourself. Nobody's coming, there's no company coming over because people are afraid of what's out there. So you have the tool. I had to hold tight on to my spirituality or what I learned spiritually. I set up an altar, which was just myself, a glass of water, and a candle, my thoughts, and my singing bowl as I needed it, my tuning fork, my sage, and my essential oils. I diffused them. They were my saving grace. I have my diffuser going right now. It's my little mini.
I was going to ask you what an oil diffuser. So that takes the
So
oil and makes it a vapor, essentially.
yes, yes. Those were all the tools that I had to, and and of course my stones when I allowed them to work for me, because sometimes I didn't feel it. So it didn't, for me, it didn't work. You have to feel it. As
Now,
with
cuz
products.
another strategic interruption.
Go
All
ahead.
right. There are people right here in this Zoom studio that have rocked with you, that have supported your business and your products, and that are probably in a position to say, she's not up here just talking fluff. This stuff worked for me. Is it possible? Would you be all right if we let one or two people on to talk about
Absolutely.
how? Okay, who would you like? Who would you recommend? And maybe if you're willing, you can come on, unmute yourself. Who would you recommend?
Whoever, Tamara, Kenosha, Arlena, if any one of you ladies want to
Tamara, I
unmute.
seen you reacting, sister.
Yes,
Come on in
Tamara is
here,
my love.
and let's get your testimony. All right, unmute yourself, and let's get your testimony. All right,
Kenosha, Arlena, anyone? Okay,
and then we
there's
have
Tamara. Hi,
all right.
love.
You put me on blast. I didn't want to. I just said you in here. Yes, I can contest to everything that she's saying, down to the bowl, down to the oils and everything. Because when my son passed in 2018, she was right there with me, and I felt like I was gonna lose my only child. I felt like I was gonna lose my last little bit of sense that I do have. But she was right there with me, and she never did leave me, and the oil kept me calm, because something happened at the funeral. You know how when we get together and somebody looking to see if anybody got money left. So it was like so she was right there. The oils work, trust me. And I have stones in my car. My car is like sometimes on his last leg, but I keep those stones in there. She taught me everything. Everything she's saying is true. Everything. The all, and just for her being on here, I'm out of shea butter. I'm running low. And my mama has issues with her skin, with her being a diabetic. And mama get mad at her when she don't get her sometimes.
Yes.
So mama's running low.
Okay, I got you.
See, sister putting her bed right on the show. That's what I'm talking
shea
about.
butter, and I need my oil.
That's what I'm talking
my mama
about.
gets real mad at her. Mama is 72 years old, and she gets mad when she don't get a Lona. Lona stuff. Mama, you want me to just stop by the stove? No, call Ilona. That's what she calls it.
That's right. She says, thank you.
That's all right. Thank you for that testimony, Sister Tamara. Is there anyone else that would like Tamara? I'm sorry. Is there anyone else that would like to chime in on their experience?
Kenosha, Arlena. Okay. Unmute yourself, Kenosha, because I know you got something. You better have had something to say. Unmute yourself.
I was going, okay. Listen, I don't know if you both can hear me. Happy is today.
Yes.
I hope that you guys are doing very well. I'm at Starbucks, like, so you know what I'm doing. But listen, I hope that your day has been going well. I am Kenosha K, but I've been in the state of Georgia for almost 3 years. I have known, I can only call her this. Can nobody else call her this? Disclaimer. I have known Light, as you know her, as Okima Natural for 2 years now. And when Light came into my life, I'll never forget where I was in the state of Georgia Park. And I had just connected with her through a former client, but also a friend of mine. And I was going through, yet again, year 6 of grief from losing my mother, right? And then all the things that were going on in my life that were becoming more triggered to the grief. Make a long story short, I got Light's number. We connected immediately. I was telling her things that were going on. I gained her trust very quickly because I felt like she was sincere and she was very knowledgeable and crafty in what she had going on. And so I just believed that this thing could work. It felt really good. And so she ended up creating a line for Kenosha K, specifically designed for me, not for my practice yet, but for me, because of grief, because of trauma, and all of those things. And so here we are on year 2, and the healing just gets better, feeling better. Let's see,
I've done singing bowl therapy on Kenosha. I've done
yes,
crystal healing therapy on Kenosha.
I keep my roller with me in times of need. I never leave home without it. If I need it when I'm out in the community, I can just, take my breath and inhale. And like told you about when you are inhaling, what that does for you. But also I put it here where it could keep it. Like, did you tell them about that? Because I could barely hear you. But also on the
Yes.
back of my neck. And so it gets to the places that it needs to right then. But also when I'm in a state of stress, I can easily pop out, and my tools work for me because I allow them to, and I've seen them and I've felt them work. I have traveled from Georgia to South Carolina just to get Reiki Therapy and the sound bowl, and also the spiritual baths, because all of that plays a part with the clinical aromatherapy. Sometimes you just can't have one without the other. Sometimes you need to go really big and be intentional about your wellness and your healing for what you want. And every single time I want to unlock another level of healing, I know exactly who I need to call on. I know exactly what I need to do. But more importantly, I know who my heart trusts with this wellness process. And so I tell Light all the time, please don't call her that. I tell Light all the time that I trust her with my life. And if there's only 2 people, if they would pull the plug, now that trust is a big thing for me now, and I exercise it, that she will be the one, because I know what has happened, not only in my grieving experiences, but trauma as well. But here's the thing: last year was the first year that I wasn't depressed or grieving my mother. And so that's a big thing, because if you knew the story, you would know why so much grief behind it. So that's all I got, because I could talk about my experiences over and over and for so long, because 2 years has been very delicious for me in this process of Okima Natural. So check the website next week. It'll be up, okimanatural.com.
Thank you for that, Kenosha.
Thank you.
Because I noticed that you used this language and she just used it. You said you didn't allow the stones to work. Could you explain what you mean by that? About this notion of allowing it?
Allowance is the acceptance of a thing to work in your life, right? Like, you allow people to come into your life, you allow friendships, you allow it's a level of vulnerability within yourself when you allow another thing to come in and do something that you feel that you can't do, or that you want to learn how to do for yourself. So allowing was me being vulnerable to what the thing is and how it works, or how I allowed it to work for me. Because when you read about things and what they do, is from that person's perspective who's writing it, right? You don't actually know what a thing is until you've had the thing in your hands or experienced the thing yourself to know if this is actually what it does and how it works for you. So like, say, okay, for this stone, it's an amethyst. They say it's the healing stone. It helps with peace. It helps you go to sleep. It's also a stone to help with addiction. It's also a stone that was used to turn water into wine. Okay. So yeah, because he used purple amethyst goblets and put water into it, the amethyst color turned the water purple, or the appearance of the water to be purple. And people in their minds, right, because of who, the energy was supposed to be, stated that it was turned into wine. Now, they were already drunk. They don't say that. They were already inebriated. They didn't have any more to give. So they put these amethyst goblets out, put the water in it, because, it would give the appearance of wine. And then that was your wine right there. So it has many more properties than what is purported to be, but you have to know that you have to sit with it, get in touch with it, and intend for with it. You have to allow it to show you what its purpose is in your life, just with anything else, like the baths, the sprays, the oils, the sage, the sound bowls. You have to allow what you feel, what you may know, or what you've heard about these things to you have to be vulnerable to what it is that the thing does, to be in your life.
Okay, now those watching and listening, let's just make sure we review a few quick things. Um, sound bowl, Alona. What's the sound bowl again?
So a sound bowl is an ancient tool used to assist with moving stagnant energy within your body so that you can navigate through an emotion and or feeling.
That comes to us from the Buddhist tradition, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Because I know I listened to it on YouTube. And on another note, family, if you're having difficulty going to sleep, I go to YouTube.
Yes.
I listen to the Buddhist. Man, it put me right out.
So you listen to the frequencies. Yes, the
Yeah.
frequencies are amazing because again, it's a vibration and or a hertz that interacts with other, the vibration within yourself and or frequency that helps to push you subtly into your natural state, or what is considered to be your natural state, which is peace, love, abundance, and those things.
Now, we're at a point where I'm really hoping that the community has questions. Either if you're here in the Zoom studio or if you're on Facebook. I've kind of been going back and forth, cuz, while you've been talking,
Okay.
just to monitor what's going on. You had a few comments. I'm trying to see if anyone has specific questions. I think that the Queen Bee, Sister Brenda, had said earlier that she had a question. I don't know if you still have it, Brenda, but if so, could you unmute yourself and ask it?
Hello, Goddess Brenda.
Hello, cousin.
My cousin love.
How are you feeling?
I am doing great. I am abundant. That's
Yes,
that's
you are.
I said earlier, that's the vibration and frequency that I am on, and that's how I'm living right now.
And thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate you. My question is for people like myself. I have a lung condition, and I used to love perfume and aromatherapy, but with this particular condition, fragrances, even those that sometimes there are chemicals in the air that will trigger. So it's not necessarily scent. There are chemicals, even in oils, that trigger my lungs and it shuts it down, my ability to breathe down. And I want to partake in aromatherapy. How can I still enjoy some of the benefits of aromatherapy without maybe the heavier fragrances?
So in that instance, you would do, there are teas. Teas are aromatic. So you want to drink, aromatic teas. You can, if the aromas don't bother you in like body products, they do bother you in the body products as well. So then, yes, I would just suggest teas at this time for you to enjoy, because the teas are a part of aromatherapy as well. And that's a whole nother subject that we could get on, as far as teas go. But and they'll also be doing the same thing that aromatherapy will, medicinally assisting you, mentally, physically, and spiritually assisting you. Tea is a whole nother level of spirituality in itself. Having a glass of tea is, something is another personal relationship between yourself and the herb, as it's doing what it's intended to do for you. So I would suggest teas, like pea flower teas, lemongrass, basil and mints, rose, hibiscus. Rose actually is the highest vibrating herb and or essential oil, if you're into frequencies and vibrations, because that's another word along with energy that is so overworked in this in the community right now, but it is the highest vibrating herb and or essential oil. So rose tea is also a meditative tea and a grounding tea. So you would want to drink that like right before bed. It'll assist with dreaming and things of that nature. Also assist with grounding. So if you're wanting to get to a place where you're centered and grounded with yourself, you can drink rose and or hibiscus tea. But I would suggest definitely teas, and you want to get them loose leaf because the bag teas are just like the leftover shavings of the loose leaf tea, and you would have to drink 20 bags to get the benefit of 1 tablespoon of loose leaf tea.
Okay.
Even like elderberry teas and things of that nature, you want to do that. Ginseng tea, ginger teas, any tea that's aromatic. Um, Also, if you are on medication, I suggest, because these teas, if you're getting them in the loose leaf form, they're going to work faster than you would in the bag form, to drink them at least 2 hours before or 2 hours after you take any kind of medication. So it's already in your system doing what it's supposed to do. So when the medication that you are having to take, you have to take it, it doesn't have to work as hard because your system is already used to the herbs that are in your body doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have one other question. So if I were to, can I substitute teas, for example, the sage? I can't burn sage, but
Absolutely.
I can spray the sage. It doesn't
Yeah,
bother me because it's
right.
light. Can I do that with tea?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely. You
Perfect.
also do a simmer pot. I don't know if you guys, like my grandmother, I don't remember if Aunt Alethea did this, Aj, but a simmer pot, you put it on the stove, you put like cinnamon, nutmeg, and things like that. You put it on the stove and you let it simmer, and then you take it off when it gets warm enough, and you go through the house and you let it be in synergy. Kind of, you can do with herbs, if it's not going to bother you too much, you could do like a sage simmer pot or rosemary. Probably not rosemary. So no to the rosemary for you. But like sage, star anise, uh, things like that. No,
Thank you.
no clove. Don't put clove in your simmer pot. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that
I love
question.
you.
I love you too.
Sister Brenda, thank you for that question. I might add you looking rather beautiful today. Um, Now I see a sister that's been in here. She's like a good student. She's just been sitting, taking her little notes. She hasn't. She's smiling. But I know she must have something she wants to say or possibly ask. Sister Sheila, am I right?
Yes, you are right. I'm in Germany. I'm an Afro-Brazilian, and it's really
Awesome.
amazing. Yes, to listen to you. And I have a question. I'm going to US in September, and I would like to order some products of you. How long do I need to wait until I receive my hotel, for example? Because I will be 12 days. When I order, it will be so fast that you maybe in 2-3 days or in 1 week. Otherwise, I
So
lose my product.
Oh, no, you won't. You're not. So usually I make the product when you order. So all products are made to order, and they usually take anywhere from 3 to 7 business days before they're delivered.
Okay, then perfect. I will order
Okay,
as soon as
awesome.
I arrive there. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Where are you now, right now, Sister Sheila?
I'm in Frankfurt in Germany.
Oh,
Awesome.
wow.
Thank
Okay.
you so much for tuning in all the way from Germany.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you
Harlem
for your
Liberation
presence here
School is
today.
becoming international on them, cuz.
Right?
Because of you.
Yes, perfect.
Thank you
You
so
done
much for
brought the
your presence
diaspora out.
today.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, that's excellent. Thank you, Sister Sheila, because I know she was just taking her notes and just smiling and very good. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you
on.
so much for your presence
You are
today. I
right.
appreciate you.
We're gonna have to bring. Also, we're gonna have to bring. Cuz you're gonna have to come back because I think just like the Queen had mentioned about her being sensitive to smells, that people like her may also want to look into sound therapy, right? The bowls
Absolutely.
and different things like that may help too, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sound
Uh,
therapy Chanting helps as well because again, it's moving stagnant energy. It also allows you to hear your voice. Like I said, I didn't like to hear my voice. I know there are a lot of people that don't like to hear themselves speak. So chanting, using your voice to help with your healing, because I advocate that you are your own healer. I cannot heal you. I assist and or guide you to do that for yourself, but I am not your healer. I am my own healer. Anything that I use is intentionally for your healing. It's what you need and what you want. And we go through the process of you putting your own intention and vibration in it. And that's that. I don't purport to be, anybody's healer. You're your own healer. And that's how I treat you. So don't get mad if I'm guiding you and you're like, well, you're not. No, I'm giving you the information. I'm guiding you to the location. And now you have to find, in that space where and what works for you.
I love that because it's very similar to the political world that I'm immersed in. We tell
Right.
people all the time that the white man ain't gonna save you. Hate to
Right.
hurt anybody's feelings, but guess what? Other black people ain't gonna save you either.
No, you
They
gotta
can
save yourself.
empower you. They can give you tools, but
Right.
you got to do the work. We are, self saviors. So I'm glad you said that.
Absolutely.
And I see Brother Mark McPhee got his hand up. I'm assuming he has a question or comment. Brother, please unmute yourself and share us with us.
Yes, sir.
So I had stroke and I just had surgery the other day for my eyesight. What would you recommend in terms of my eyesight to remove cataract? That's why I wearing these glasses.
Okay, totally understand that. So, as far as an essential oil element, tea tree oil is absolutely a great oil for issues with eyes. So you would make sure, and when you're using essential oils, you're going to apply them to your skin, you want to make sure they're diluted with a carrier oil. When I say carrier oil, I mean like olive oil, grapeseed oil, almond oil, apricot oil, avocado oil. These are all oils that have healing, nourishing, and vitamins that are essential for our bodies, right? In the case with your eye, I would do like 1 drop of tea tree oil into a tablespoon of olive oil, and then just kind of rub that around your eye. Everybody loves tea tree oil because it's good for your skin. But what people don't know is tea tree oil actually was the first eye drop. So, it was like clear eye. That's what it's called.
And it didn't sting?
In Egyptian times, tea tree oil, yes.
It didn't sting the eye?
It didn't sting the eye because I'm pretty sure that they mixed it with some type of carrier oil or solvent, to assist with it. But you want to take it and rub it around the eye. Don't put it inside the eye. Put it around the eye, and it'll assist with helping with your cataracts there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you do any, I've been getting into these devotionals. I set up my own kind of devotional. I'm curious to know, do you do some type of daily ritual involving meditation or affirmation that you could share with people that may be helpful for them?
Absolutely. So first thing I do, everything is a ritual. Even when I send you the information detailed in my products, I tell you how to apply it with, my shower gel. Taking a shower is a ritual. So, you're going to visualize the water. You're going to close your eyes when you're in the shower. You're going to hear the water. You're going to visualize the water cleansing and clearing you. You're going to take your shower gel. You're going to thank your whole entire body for how it supported you for the day. And then you're going to wash off, the day from you. That's a ritual in itself. And then applying your body butter, oil, or anything, that's another, because you wash and anoint, right? You baptize and anoint yourself. These are rituals. My morning and our daily ritual is I wake up in the morning. First thing I say is thank you. I then go into the bathroom and look in the mirror and, good morning, beautiful. How are you doing today? Affirming that we are abundant, not so much in things, but abundant in life, abundant in love, abundant in health. Okay, Tamara, I got you. Abundant in life, abundant in health. I hit one of my singing bowls. I ring my bell to, let the energy in the house know that, hey, we are awake. I greet my plants. I say hello to my husband's ashes. I greet my plants. I open the shades, let all of the good light in. I go outside. I do deep breathing. And then I hold my hands up and I say gratitude, 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 gratitude. I place one hand over my heart, my right hand. I place my left hand over my solar plexus or belly button, which is your soul aspect. And I say, thank you for this breath. Thank you for this life. And I do that whether it's raining outside, cold, warm, whatever. That is my morning ritual. And I stand out and I take a few breaths and allow myself the transmission to begin, for the day, because we transmit and receive all day, every day. And I allow for that to happen in my life. Then I drink my tea, whatever I'm drawn to. It could be like eucalyptus, mint, peppermint, whatever I feel like, lavender, whatever I feel like. Make my tea and go sit at my desk and start work. But I do that every single, I have an affirmation on or some kind of uplifting music. And then I'm set for the day. But that is my ritual every day. And everybody has a ritual that they do on a daily basis. They might not just consider it a ritual just because of what the word.
When I used to smoke cigarettes, that was my ritual.
Right, that was a ritual. Exactly. If I say that, if people get up and the first thing they do is grab their phone, that's their ritual. Mm-hmm. If they get up and read their Bible, that's their ritual. If they get up and journal, that's a ritual. If you get up and you smoke cigarettes, weed, whatever, that's a ritual. That's what you are giving your energy and your space to first thing in the morning. And I had to rearrange, my ritual so that it suits the vibration and intention that I'm trying to bring into my lifestyle. So yeah, I had to switch up my ritual from picking up my phone first thing, because why do I want to do that when I don't give gratitude, when I don't go outside and feel what I'm abundant in? So yeah, I had to change my whole entire aspect on what my morning ritual was going to be so that it dictated what my day was or how my day was going to go. Mm-hmm. So it's easy for you to pick up your phone after you wake up from a good sleep and then your whole mind get jacked up because of something you saw that really had nothing to do with you. Right? And then you can't get yourself back because that thing has messed up your mind or thrown off your whole day. Now everything in your day is thrown off. And then you're like, well, why is this happening to me? I'm just having a bad day, but it's because of how you started the day, which is what caused your day to be bad. So I'm very mindful and intentional about how I want my life to be, how I speak to myself, how I speak about myself and around myself. So who I allow in my space, what energy is there. I implement my boundaries, not only for other people, but boundaries for myself because they're personal, right? Everything is personal first and then implemented outside of that for everybody else. So I'm very intentional with everything that it is that I do. I have altars. I go to my altars and I'm intentional about the energy I put there, what I want to receive from them, and all of that. Even with my products, like I said, I'm intentional. If I don't feel good, no product gets touched, because why do I want to put that energy into what you're going to receive and then you put it on yourself? Even with foods and things like that, I'm intentional about what I'm eating or how I feel when I'm eating, because if I don't feel good, I don't want to put that in my food and then further continue to infect myself with,
or others that you're feeding.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm very intentional about how I handle.
Lona Love, what do we have to look forward to from you in the future? Where's Okima Natural going?
So I'm coming back because, like I stated, when my husband passed, I took a break to deal with that and to actually allow myself to grieve, because I didn't. I went from impasse into survival mode and I didn't grieve. I didn't allow that. So I allowed myself the act and or emotion of grieving. During that time and process, I worked and leaned a little bit more on myself, evolved within myself, learned things about myself that I had no idea that I needed to know, just for myself, healing and growth. But right now I'm back to, I kind of veered off the path as well, because I kind of was looking at what everybody else was doing and was like, well, I need to incorporate that because I know this. And I really didn't need to do that. I just needed to stick with what where I started and how it was going, you know, because we're on a 4-lane highway and we think in our car we're supposed to hit all 4 lanes when there's 1 lane designated for us. Now, when you need to get over and or evolve, yes, put your signal on and signal that you are ready to move to the next lane when you are ready to move to that lane, right? I'm back with my products. So my products will be back out. I am doing wholesale. I do private label. I'm going to, you know, hit back to my retail friends and family and see if I could get back into putting my product on some retail stores again. Continue doing my private label, get back out into teaching classes, but I'm really just going to promote more of how essential oils and the products and the things that I do assist you with, you know, your evolution into self.
That's excellent. And are there any other uh, words or suggestions that you have for us as we get ready to close out the show?
Just be true to yourself, man. Recognize that you are both a spiritual being and a human being, and don't deny yourself when you're being human, because that's a part of being spiritual, right? And when you deny that about yourself, then that's when the issues come. So my thing is just to be true to yourself, to allow yourself to be vulnerable to yourself, and to yeah, that's probably basically it. To allow yourself to be vulnerable to yourself and be true to yourself. Be real to yourself. You know, that's it. Don't be fake to yourself. Be real to yourself. Be true to yourself and follow what resonates within your heart and your soul. You know, don't do what's out here trending, or if it resonates deep within your soul and within your heart, then do that and research, study, read, allow yourself to become involved in activities and things with what you're wanting to align yourself with. Find other people who are doing those things and attend events to see if that's really something that, you know, is for you. So yeah, that's what I would just say. Be true to yourself in all aspects of that. And intend your day with the frequency and vibration of what you want it to be. Like I say, I'm on the vibration of abundance, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I don't mean just monetary abundance. I mean abundance of life, abundance of love, abundance of healing, abundance of health, all of that.
Excellent, excellent. That language thing is so critical.
Absolutely.
The stuff we say, people don't understand. Language are spells and curses.
Absolutely.
People understand
Absolutely.
that.
Right.
That's
You have to
very
command. I was telling Kenosha this the other day. You have to command your life. As you know, if we read in history, the creator spoke and it was done. The creator didn't ask for anything. The creator said it is, and that's what it was. And that's how I want my life to be. I want to say it is, and that's how it begins to be. I don't want to be asking, can I have, oh, can you give me? No, I'm going to get it. It is this. And then I work in that frequency, intention, and vibration to get it. So
there it is. You know what's so beautiful about this family? The Most High, the Creator, whatever y'all call it, the universe. We have a tendency to resist truth. That's part of our programming, right?
mm-hmm.
So you'll get truth from a person you don't like them, so you'll shut it down. But you know the way this universe works is that if you don't get it from them, you're going to
You're
get
gonna
it
get
from
from
somebody
somebody
else.
else.
It's going to keep hitting you in the head because truth is universal and you can't
mm-hmm.
escape it. It's all connected. You get it from the football coach. You get it from your little soap opera you watch. You'll see it on the sitcom. You open up a
Absolutely.
book and it's right. You're gonna get it, and that's what I
And
love about this.
it's not a respecter of persons either. So if
That's
you're
right.
looking to be respected by truth, you're gonna be disappointed.
There you go. All right. Listen, we want to. Mark McPhee, did you have your hand up again, brother? Did you have another question or comment? Okay. All right. Listen, family,
Before you
here.
close, Ajay, I just want to
Yes.
thank everybody for being here, tuning in on the Zoom and all of the outlets. Thank you for allowing me to pour into you. And thank you for being receptive to what it is that I have to say. I appreciate all of you. I bow to all of you. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
all
this
of you,
platform,
those of you who
because
came on and shared and gave testimony. Our sister Sheila, who's speaking to us, coming to us from all the way from Germany. We want to thank
right, I
her.
appreciate your
That's
presence
beautiful.
so
I'm
much.
really happy.
And it sounds like she might be supporting the business too, Lona Love. So that's great.
Of
Once
course.
again, it's
Thank you.
Okema Natural, Okema Natural. I put it on Facebook. You can find Lona Love on Instagram. You can
Yes.
find her on Facebook under Okema Natural. And she has a Cash App. Some of you, those of you who hit the lottery last week, or you got that little bonus check, Sister Lone Love got a Cash App. You may say, I don't even want a product. I just want to donate to the beautiful work you
Oh,
do to
thank
keep people's
you.
minds right. So if you want to do that, go to Cash App. That's $, Okema Natural. Okay? I posted
Thank
that on
you. Thank
Facebook and
you.
in the chat here. So if you want to do that, you are welcome to do it. I'm not urging you, but I'm leaving that open as an option. All right? Family, we want to thank my cousin, Lona Love.
Thank you so much for the platform. I
She's
appreciate
continuing the
it
work
so
of
much.
the bloodline family. Oh
Absolutely.
man, it gives me goosebumps. You know, my grandmother Olethea, who would be your aunt, I believe,
Yes. On
Aunt
Alethea.
Ruth, who would be my aunt, who would be your
My
grandmother,
grandmother.
have to be smiling upon you as they see this and see us
Absolutely.
also working together. So this is really beautiful.
Absolutely.
And
His
I want
family
to thank
was a big
everybody.
thing.
Yes, it's just got goosebumps. Thank you so much, family. All right, thank you all so much. Y'all have a blessed day, and remember, be careful what you say. Be careful what you think. It will manifest, and you want
Oh,
to
yeah.
make sure that what manifests is what you want to manifest. You feel me?
Absolutely.
All right, family. Have a blessed day. Peace and black power.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
your day and
everyone.
week.
Peace out.
Thank you.
All right, Tim. Thank